Yo, I want a pair of nice breast. No, I'm gonna get ab implants like the Liver King.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
I haven't seen the sun in a fucking week and a half. Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it.
And we're back for another installment of After Hours with the Whack Pack. I'm Dave Palumbo. A little bit of technical difficulty in the beginning, but we are back, and the pack is here as well. And what's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
So, is it true, Greg, that you want to get ab implants? Like
I was thinking about getting breast implants, maybe competing as a trans woman in the. Would that be allowed? Like, if I wanted to be a trans?
Why not?
Absolutely.
I'm doing it. Fuck
Absolutely.
I'm doing it.
Have they
I'll
made
do your depletion.
How about
Have
a
they
whole
made
physique
rulings?
transplant?
Have they made
The
any
whole thing.
rules in the NPC? Is there any rules in the NPC IFBB if you want to cross over?
Wow, imagine that. Phil Heath fucking becoming like getting implants, and now he's like a female bodybuilder.
Wow.
But can you do that? I mean, I don't know what the rules. What are the rules?
I don't know, but the minute you start fucking threatening to sue,
I think Jam's not having it.
You mean Jim?
You know, that's an interesting point. If you get a dude bodybuilder and put a set of breast implants on him, put him in a girl's posing suit and tell the IFBB, look, I'm identifying as a girl.
Right.
What are they going to do?
Well, they can say we don't accept that, but I know one female who turned into who was a transgender to a boy, to a male, who competed in males divisions, and you wouldn't even know. And she's
The
one
blonde guy, right? Power lifter.
No, I think she was like a. I mean, these girls are so light that they're going to be like bantamweights, so they do well because
He's talking about Matt Krokoleski.
No. He never competed. He would never compete or she would never compete as a girl because she knows.
You're talking about Matt Kruk?
Yeah,
No way.
Yeah. That was it.
I think that for the most part, there's no more boys and women's sports. So I don't know if that would count in bodybuilding, but I think.
No, I think Dave was trying to say that there's a woman who actually became a man, and now she actually beat the men in the men's show as a male
that's a
bodybuilder.
tough one.
Correct. Yeah, and no one would even know, so you wouldn't even know that. So I think it's one of these.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Well, if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. You do it so you can't tell.
The problem is at the national level, you got to show your birth certificate, I think. So I don't know how that would work, but
depends on the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's unusual. Though. What Dave's trying to say is that's unusual because that went
very
the opposite.
unusual.
That went the opposite way.
Extraordinarily rare.
Usually, it's a woman who actually now became a man, and she's beating men, which should be the other way. But I understand what Dave's saying. You get a 130-pounder against a 130-pound guy. She's maybe a little shorter, stout. She puts on muscle. That's a different story.
She would have maybe more muscle because her bones are lighter.
Hey, what's up?
What if Kai put a wig on and did the Miss Olympia? The Open.
I might do that.
You ever see that video?
But see, that's the thing. There was a meme a long time ago of a girl bodybuilder, and they photoshopped a dude. They photoshopped off the breasts and put a dude's pecs on her. Okay, it was and it was disturbing to look at because it was like.
Have you ever seen those AI Instagram?
Yeah. But wait. But if you did it the opposite way, if you took the dude and you put the breasts on them,
Right.
with, you know, AI, Photoshop, whatever, and then a girl's posing suit. Ostensibly, we're talking Kai. Use Kai. Put a pair of double D's on Kai. Sling it in the suit.
Oh, the schmoes would go crazy.
I mean, you would. Why wouldn't that? I mean, what are you gonna do? Show up to the Miss Olympia and they're gonna compare crotch bulges? I mean, that's really all you can do. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Now, some of these women got some bulges too.
What did the trannies do? How do they get rid of the bulge? They tuck it?
They tape it. We use duct tape.
They cut the fucking piece. They got them for the tape. If they still got it,
where do they tape it to, though?
They tuck their balls up their ass. You know. It's
oh my God! How uncomfortable is that, Greg?
Especially cross-legged.
You've talked to people that have done it. What, you don't know all the details?
No, I just tell them fucking rip that tape off. And bend over.
Oh no, you. Greg.
No, I'm just kidding. But you know,
you at least want to do it with the tape on, Greg. I mean, come on.
No, but I'm just.
Armand was like, no,
really. Put the fucking tape on and keep those things from swinging.
You can't get at the asshole because they got that.
Greg knows all the logistics of this.
He knows the location of everything.
You know it too well.
When you rip the tape off, you got to look at the tape. It's got all hair on it.
No, I'm sure they get rid of that first.
Greg, if you're gonna put tape down there, don't you think you should shave first so they don't?
I'm just kidding.
I know you are.
You fucking queer. Shut up. Anyway,
those people are lost souls. They're all lost souls.
There he is.
Wait a minute.
They're lost.
Do you guys think
they're lost people?
Do you guys believe that Liver King really got fucking? I mean, I saw it on Joe Rogan and stuff, and that guy Plates More Dates or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that was going around 3 years ago. Everybody was saying.
I know it's all over the internet right now. People talking.
Yeah.
You think that?
Well, you know, people used to say Rich Piana had ab implants too. Which Rich's abs could have been because his abs. When I hung out with him at around 2015 or no 2013 or whatever before he passed away. I mean, he would eat junk food all the time, but he had those abs, and I think Rich had some, that done. But I think the Liver King, that's been talked about for years. So I think he's always had that.
But it just got to Rogan.
Wait a minute,
Rogan just picked up.
I'm going to tell you what Dr. Nadler told me. Dr. Nadler used to say you could inject a little bit of silicone, right? That shit that piano was what the piano makes shit. And you put it in each block of ab. You put a shot and a shot like this, and a shot and a shot in each block of ab, and it will thicken the abs. That's what he told me. Now I don't know if the guys are doing
that. Would make more sense because you can't put an ab implant in because it would move. It's not what's going to anchor it to the ab. It'll look terrible.
You'd have to put it in the muscle.
Well, that's what Nadler said.
I would think that injecting something in there would be more.
He said you do it each. You take one ab, like one block of ab. You got two abs, and he said you would actually put two little injections of just enough, just to fill out that whole little block, and then you go to the next ab, put two injections. It
just seems like it would be lumpy. You know what I mean?
They're doing the filler in there because they're doing the filler in there to give the ab a little bulge out. That's been going on forever, and
you think people have done that? You think people have done that, Armand?
Well, Nadler told me.
I know people who've done that. I know people who've done
ab injections like that.
Yes, with fillers. Yes.
Why don't they do their calves? They got all those shitty calves. How come no one's injecting?
These are usually women that have done this, and I know them personally. Bikini girls and wellness girls that have done this personally.
So how come dudes aren't doing their calves?
Forget calves for a second. How does the abs look?
It's lagging body part in bodybuilding.
But you can't do it with synthol or something.
People have been injecting their calves for years. I never heard of abs. What dude, I'm surprised you. Can I ask a question?
Dave, remember
guys. Let him answer.
Remember, Dave, we sent I sent you that picture on one it was probably like a couple months ago, and it showed that guy shooting each ab. Do you not remember that?
I don't think his abs looked. I don't think his abs looked that good, though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but they do it, and so I was talking to Chris Cormier's friend the other day, and someone was saying Samson was doing that too. I don't know how true that is or not.
No. What Rich did is he did the tattoos in such a way that they were between the lines of the muscles.
Right.
So it made him look like a shadowing of an actual tattoo. It made it look more prominent.
Yeah, he told me that they did the shadowing to cap the shoulders and his triceps and all that. Yeah.
The tattoos were placed strategically in between the line of the muscle so that it would look like it was sticking out more.
So is the synthol.
Yeah, but I don't think you could do that shit like with juice or Centol or something like that in the ab. It would spill out, and I think it would get smoother. Not
if it's the PMMA stuff, because that stuff doesn't leak out. That stuff stays.
No, you're right. That's what Nadler was telling me about. He was saying the little Centol, not Centol. What do you call it? The
silicone.
It's a little silicone.
You can look it up. I mean, a lot of these guys are the gay community get it done. You can look it up. They online.
Yeah. They also get pec implants a lot too, though. They get a lot of pec implants.
Yeah, they better think about life after 50 if they do that stuff.
Well,
Greg, how come nobody's got one for the Picheligots? How come we can't do that?
They do that, John.
They do?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
I know.
No, come on, seriously.
I'll tell you somebody who did it offline. Somebody both of you and Dave know them very well. And he did that. He got to but you got to watch though. If you make a wrong mistake, you get to fucking get infected.
Isn't that kind of dangerous, Dave, to be doing that?
Greg, I mean, John, I wouldn't inject anything anywhere near that area. That's
right.
Me
neither.
Wait.
Don't touch it. Leave it alone.
I did try Caverjack.
Don't ever touch that.
Yeah.
Never touch it.
I did try Caverjack one time. That was an experience.
That's
why you have a bad experience.
Not as good as Armin's.
No.
or Lee.
But I would think injecting anything in there to increase. You only can increase the girth, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of gay guys.
That's it.
You
know what's funny? Both you and Dave know who this person is. He's from New York, and I'm going to tell you, it's a famous 80s bodybuilder. I'm going to tell you who it is when we get off here.
I bet I know who it is. I know who it is.
I think you might know who it is.
But
a Latin bodybuilder.
Yeah,
bring this guy
I don't want to know. I really don't want you to tell me.
Dave,
yes, you do.
Dave, are you reading the comments? Are you reading the comments, Dave?
Yeah. What?
There's a guy that's been trolling on my channel and trolling here. He wants to fight. He wants to fight me.
George, it's not real.
George, it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real. You just ignore them. It's not real.
Captain, well, he was on. His name was real.
Bro,
it's probably some 50-year-old fat guy
that's
never been out of
coward, big mouth fucking
Captain Protein MMA kitchen alcohol.
George, someone would come on here with a real face and come on the show if they wanted to.
Yeah. Tell him to come on.
He won't.
Send him the link.
They're not.
Oh, my emails aren't working. I can't get the email.
Yeah.
Pussy. Yo, he's applied.
You just
the guy showed.
I'm a troll.
The guy showed. Hey, hold on. The guy showed himself boxing, hitting a 300-pound heavy bag. There was a guy.
How do you know that was him, though?
How do you know? Yeah, how do you know it was him?
Not the guy that came on last week.
You can't believe everything you see.
He deleted
all any of what you see, bro. Nothing. Zero.
No, I understand that. But people sent comments to that channel, and the guy said all sorts of crazy shit back to him, and then deleted all the comments.
Of course,
it's not real.
Nothing's real on the internet anymore. You can't even look at anything without it being real. All these reports, all these TMZ reports, nothing's real anymore.
Nope.
Was it all AI or just people?
We're getting Armin. That's a great point because we are rapidly getting to a point where you will not be. You turn on the computer, the TV, whatever platforms you get your videos from, whether YouTube or wherever, you'll be literally watching something that looks real that will be totally fake.
Oh yeah, man.
And you'll have no idea. You'll have no idea if the Russians are bombing us or if. You'll have no idea. You will have no clue based on what you're watching, whether or not it's real or manufactured. We are like 2 inches from that point.
Dude, 5 years ago, I sent you a video. You remember the one I sent you of AOC?
Yes, I remember that.
Yep. Do you know that I got fucking on private messages, I sent that video out, and I got the kibosh on fucking Facebook.
Because it was really her. That's why. It wasn't
Dude,
what was the video of, John?
It was of AOC giving some guy a blowjob where she's like telling him not to come in her mouth.
And he said, well, you need your protein. And she's like, well, okay. But let me tell you.
No, Poppy, no. And it's fucking her. Because this was like 10 years ago, right, Greg?
I said it a long time
There was
ago,
no AI capable of doing that. To that, it was her.
Dude, she grew up only
it looked
2
like
blocks.
her in college.
She grew up. I go drunken at her fucking family's house.
Greg, where the hell did you get that video from?
I don't know. Somebody sent it to me, and it's so I sent it around on Facebook and private messages. So that means Facebook was monitoring my private.
They can see all that stuff.
Because it was really her. That's
bro.
why.
Let me tell you something. She grew up 2 blocks over here from me. We go drunken at her family's house. Let me tell you something. She's not from New York City. She went to K through 12 with my niece, my daughter's kid, right?
Send her the link, Dave.
Dude,
you want to talk to this dude? All right,
set it up. Come on, let's get
that's not. I don't think that's the same.
Yeah, but if he gets rude or out, then get him
on. Look.
Don't let him be rude.
Tell Sid to put him on a 5-second delay.
You got to send me. You got to post his email here so I can send him the link. Otherwise, I'm not pulling any of this.
I don't know. At the end of the day, if it is real, I don't know what his issue is with me with my channel. My channel is meant to motivate people older and younger to get out there and do stuff.
George, these people have no lives. That's what they do.
They're trolls.
They get up and they don't have anything to do. You get up, you have a normal day. You go surfing, you go to the gym, you go boxing. This is their day. They get up and troll all day. That's what they do.
You know what the funny thing is?
I wouldn't give them the time.
Norman, do you think it's an addiction?
Yes.
Yeah. These trolls are. They're. I called them a while back.
They're addicted to getting the response.
Yeah,
because when they get a response, they feel like they control you.
You just ignore them. You gotta ignore them. You gotta ignore them totally.
I ignore all of them.
You can't even go back and forth with them.
Dude, whenever you actually,
that's what they want. They want you to go back.
That's what Lee does. Lee goes back and forth. He has epic wars with these guys.
They win because they take their time.
He's crazy.
If they take your time, they've won.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what's funny?
I mean, why waste your energy on something you don't even know that's even real? It's probably the same person with the same 10 profiles.
Yep.
I mean, they can even send bots. They can even send bots to go spam channels to make all these comments that aren't even real. They're bots.
I get that, Armand. I get that point. I get what you say. I understand what you're saying. But if this guy is a real guy,
George,
come on the show.
George, let me tell you something. The few times on the internet that I've seen that you get a real troll that really does, it's a human being, and he does come. He gets the first guy to get his ass kicked in the gym. How many times have you seen some guy come in and
go to the gym,
challenge one of these MMA guys, and he gets so fucking badly beaten, even by chicks in the MMA thing, and it's almost like they want to get beat up. It's a fucking strange thing. I don't know.
Well, they get taught a lesson.
But this is not a real guy. These guys on here.
Someone who's not really.
George, click on his profile when he's got no followers and he's the only fucking, why do you think he's got no followers, no nothing? Because it's not a real profile. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. These guys, you know what they do on here? This could be one guy in a whole chat. He chats.
Right.
He's on his laptop. He's on his fucking, fucking desktop.
Come on, it's entertaining anyway. If the guy comes on, it'll be entertainment.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is Wes Watson.
Not Wes Watson.
Wes Watson, right? It's not like that guy showing up at the gym trying to fight you. Make it public. Tell him what gym you're at. See if he shows up at the gym trying to fight you.
I got to make a comment about this Wes Watson. Johnny Bravo, first of all, right? We all like and love.
He's the man.
He's been killing it on his channel. He's got like gazillions and gazillions of hits. Good for him. Congratulations. Bravo. And, I think people are sick of the Wes Watson story, but yet they can't stop clicking on his videos about Wes Watson.
Can you fill us in who this is? Because I have no clue in either.
You don't know who Wes Watson is by now?
Greg and I both don't.
We talked about him on the show.
You're kidding.
I know.
We played stuff.
I might have been absent that day.
Sid, pull up some pictures of Wes Watson. Wes Watson's like some guy did some jail time and he got out. And he
I'm
tried
tired
to,
of that shit.
Yeah, he told everyone they're a pussy if you don't lift
I'm
weights.
tired of that. What's the
And
heroic part about all
He
that?
has you would like his cars, John. He's got, but supposedly like he rents these big mansions and then says they're his.
And Sharmoot does.
And he rents his girlfriends.
Yeah.
Well, John just made a video on him. Like he had a girl in the car showing like, I'm coaching. This is how I make every month, and it was like $27,000. And John Bravo proved that's what she made in the whole year.
Yeah.
Video. So it's like all this stuff is fake. You're seeing from these guys. Like this guy,
he's just trying to get views.
Yeah, that's all it is.
John Bravo coined.
But he did get arrested for beating that guy up and kicking him in the face.
Oh, he's gonna get in trouble for that.
He could have turned it around.
Yeah, that wasn't a fair fight. He used a belt buckle, and then they.
But then
Just think about when you look at this guy, all the fucking babanya that he shoots up in his fucking can and shit, and that's as big as you get, bro. You got to be kidding me.
He's one of those guys that he's like one of those guys that stays on True year round. Like the guys that stay on True year round. That's what I think of a guy.
That's all the muscle you got after all that shit. I don't do any of that shit, and I'm fucking more jacked than that. I'm fucking 65 years old. I'm so old to fucking.
Oh, so what was he showing that was
19,000?
Yeah, that's in a year.
She made 19,000 for. What is that for?
OnlyFans.
That's for all her no. That's for like her coaching coaching stuff.
Right. Oh, he supposedly gave her the skill set to do this coaching.
Yeah. And there's people that's been online that.
And that's the whole year. He's trying to say it's monthly, and that's the whole year. Is that
right.
So is he representing himself to be a trainer of trainers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like a life coach.
Like a trainer, life coach, motivator, all that.
5,000 for 6 weeks or something.
Yeah, what's she got in her lips?
I was just gonna say that.
Oh, she's Brazilian.
I think somebody's got a shoe missing.
She's Brazilian. They have all lips like that.
There's more shit in there than in a boot. That thing's huge.
Oh, you should be in Boca, John. They're all here.
Yeah, probably know.
And then that guy that was walking with him, Wes, is like, this guy pulls more girls than anybody I've ever known. That John Bravo called him Freddy Krueger.
How come John's hair keeps getting like thicker and thicker?
He's looking like the cartoon character Johnny Bravo.
He is,
right?
All he's got to do is angle that a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he should do that.
He didn't angle it.
Did you guys see
it?
Oh my God, he should do that.
Right?
Dude.
With angle.
Did you guys see the videos of Johnny?
Yeah, this one. Dave, if you could do the audio on that video, this guy's talking about how much ass he pulls on there.
Sid, see if we can hear the audio on this thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then,
Dude, I killed.
That means they're not getting any.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, you're like 40 years old. That's like locker room talk when you're in like high school or something. It's so.
I'm sick of the whole Wes Watson stories by now because I can't watch Johnny's videos anymore. But
I love Johnny Bravo.
I'm actually amazed at how many views he's getting on those videos. It's unbelievable.
Dave, you know what else is going on? Johnny Bravo is in it with Callie Muscle again. Johnny Bravo is in it with Callie Muscle again. And Callie Muscle is trying to sue John for posting clips of his videos. And so now Johnny calls him out. And they got a lawyer, and also Greg Doucette too. And they got a lawyer, and now they got Callie Muscle to stop his nonsense.
Have y'all guys talked about the Vitaly yet over the Philippines? Y'all saw that, right? We haven't
spoken about it, dude. This guy's in some serious trouble, dude. He's not getting.
Oh yeah, that's you guys know what I'm talking about.
Hold on, start over. Tell the story. What are you talking about?
Vitaly he's a prankster. He started back in like 2012 or 13 or something like that. His pranks used to be funny. Okay, so anyways, not too long ago.
He's also the predator.
Hold on. Let me finish the story.
One at a time.
Let me finish the story. Golly. So not too long ago, he took a bunch of mushrooms. He said he took like 10 times the dose, and he had a bad trip. He flipped out. This girl was jogging, and he attacked her and punched her in the face a couple times. So she had a black eye, and she was all messed up. Basically, they paid her off to not pursue criminal charges. So this guy was very blessed and lucky. Then he started doing these, these predator catch videos. So he started doing these like predator catch videos to kind of get relevant.
Wait. What is that? What is that? You got to remember, Greg and I don't know anything.
Okay.
That's right.
So, so you set up like you're a 13-year-old girl. You talk to a pedophile on online.
Oh, like the TV show. What's his name?
Yeah, like To Catch a Predator.
Right, To Catch a
Predator.
Yeah. We got it.
So many people have copied that model. Anyways, Vitaly.
Hold a picture of him instead.
Vitaly goes over to the Philippines, okay, and which Filipino people are known as like very nice people, welcoming, warming, very slow to temper, all that stuff. So he goes over there, and Sid can find the video. He's messing with cops. He's telling women he's going to rob them. He's taking off people's hats and running. He's doing all this stuff. And so he's thinking he's going to just get extradited if he just gets in trouble. And the Philippines, they just had like a change of the guard, I think, in their president or whatever. And so they're like, no, we're making an example out of him. He's going to spend 2 or 3 years just before he gets to trial. So he's probably going to serve like 10 years in a Filipino prison.
No way. 10 years?
Well, at least 2 to 3 years until he goes to trial. And then once he goes to trial, then he's looking at like 5 different charges that hold so he could spend up to 40 years, I believe, in a Filipino prison.
And what are they saying just for doing what? Which prank are they telling him that's what it's from?
I mean, he has a bunch of different charges. I mean, he's like told people was going to rob them, went up and screaming in girls' ears.
Yeah, I don't like those pranksters. I don't think they should go to jail.
No,
it's stupid. No, they should. They're fucking stupid.
You can't go to other countries and do that stuff too. They don't have the same laws as the U.S. Like you can do that here and get away with it. You might get shot or something.
I feel like get shot in the mall.
If you go to the Philippines, and a lot of streamers have been going to the Philippines and kind of like pissing them off. And then he went over there and like way overdid it. None of the stuff he did was even funny either.
What's the deal? Why would you want to go to the Philippines? What's so great about I understand Thailand because there's so much crazy shit in Amsterdam, shit like that. But why would you go to the Philippines? To do pranks on people?
This guy says, "Stop making him look bad, idiot." Like you're an idiot, dude. What do you mean, stop making him look bad? Watch the videos.
He does that on his own.
No, so why would people? All the countries to go to? Why would you go to the Philippines to do this?
Because just messing with the different people,
Yeah, I mean, even right there, he tries to take the cop's hat right there while he's standing there, cuffed up.
It's just not a cool. It's not like a country you go to do that.
He's lucky because the guy that they just replaced as president, the guy before him,
he should go to Dubai and do that. They'll throw him. You'll never see him again.
Oh yeah.
That guy.
The people would just beat him.
Really? Is that Mr.
He gets in jail. All those guys, all the Filipino locals that he's doing it to their own women. He's gonna. They're gonna treat him like a pedophile in there.
But and by the way, the conditions of the place where he's at are unreal. It's like over 100 degrees. There's like 40 people in a small room. They're just literally, it's horrible.
He stole the guy's motorcycle?
Yeah, he stole the cop's cycle.
Cop's motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just acting like a complete idiot.
And so he gets what he deserves. So, what's the problem?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because he's an American. I think
I hate pranksters.
Me too, bro.
He makes us look bad.
Me too.
It's not funny. It's like annoying.
By doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck around and find out, right?
But he ain't no American.
I always have these kind of like
he's Russian
internal fantasies of like one of these fucking morons coming up to like Larry and doing that. What happens? You see that switch.
What do you think about that, Larry?
I actually had a situation about 3 or 4 years ago where these gay guys were blowing up my phone morning, noon, and night, just saying like nasty shit. And in the beginning, I got mad, and that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
They wouldn't stop. They'd call from different block numbers and everything, and I couldn't figure out who it was. So finally, my ex-girlfriend, she got an idea. When they would call, I would put it on speakerphone and then mute it, and I would just let them talk to themselves. I just put the phone, because if I hung up, they just keep calling back.
Right.
So I just put it on speakerphone and then mute it, And then I just let them talk, and they just be going on and on and on. Finally, they realized that no one was there.
The last pranks that were ever played on me was by Big Rob ordering pizzas to my house. But
yeah, me too.
But aside from that, some guys called me like about a week ago, and they were like asking me stupid questions. And the funny thing was, I had my kids, and I have 3 kids I'm dealing with. You can't torture me more than 3 kids can torture me. In terms of like trying to keep track of what's going on. I'm like, look, guys. I'd love to play a game, but I got 3 kids that are torturing me. And I hung up, and then they talked about it on some podcast or something like that. Someone sent me the link to it. I said, there's no way that anyone could torture me more than 3 kids.
No way at all.
Here's the most torturous thing a single parent can do. A guy take his 2 daughters who are like 5 and 8,
right,
school shopping for clothes. Okay. Now, what happens is because of their ages, they're in 2 different departments.
Right.
Over here and over there, and they're separate. And then you got one trying on shit. Daddy, look at this. And then you got the other one trying. Daddy, look at this. And then, can I get this? And can I get that? And I spent 2 hours with them doing that. When I was done, I was spent. I was gone. I was so exhausted and frazzled. I couldn't imagine having to do this all the time. It was
John, I had to take 2. I had 2 daughters and a son, and all my son wants to do is he has no interest in any clothing. Right, anything that's a projectile. That's all.
He's probably pulling down.
The further it can go, the better too.
Max would hide behind the racks in the clothes.
I'm catching footballs at one hand and seeing how my daughter's still. And if you don't pay attention, you might get hit in the head with the football right in the side.
You'll throw it when you're not looking.
Yeah.
You'll miss it when it's gone.
When you're older.
They get older.
When they get older, you're gonna miss that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Chaos.
You're only a couple of years away from them going, get away from me. You're annoying. Oh my God, just leave me alone. Get out of here. You're embarrassing me. Wait till that's when they start getting that 12, 13 shit.
My grandmother always used to say, unless you have kids, you never really laugh and you never really cry.
There you go. Right. You're right.
Yeah, and you don't understand. If you don't have kids, you'll never know what that's like.
No.
Or you'll never know what true love is. Because let me tell you something. If you think you love your girl or whatever the fuck, man, your kids bring it to a different level. Oh. Now you know why your parents nagged you. Now you know why your parents were on your ass about every fucking thing that they do. Because of that.
So what are they talking about, Greg? They're saying, why does Greg agree here and then disagree on his channel? What are they talking about?
I have no idea. You know what? They don't like whenever I fucking respond to something. They're trolls. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? I don't care what they fucking say. But you know what's funny? All these guys don't understand that you're giving me clicks. If you don't like what I say.
But Greg, I wish when someone makes a statement like that, they would actually cite an example, right? So they're just giving you a blanket statement.
I think it's with the whole
Jerry Ward, Boston.
Right, probably that's the new one. But anything, if I say something like, if I disagree, listen.
Yeah, but they should say it. Like what?
Right? Don't you agree with everything I say, or do I agree with everything you say? That's the way it works.
But the guy is making an accusation. He's saying, "Why do you say one thing here and then say another thing on your channel?"
Because he doesn't like the fact
like
that
what? Give me an example. What does he do? What has he said here that he hasn't said? He said the contrary to on his channel. That is how you make that argument.
He's probably talking about the Jerry Ward thing.
Yeah, but I
said it here too.
You said it on here though, Greg.
Even like the Leo Rex thing. Oh, Leo was murdered. I don't believe he was murdered. Not at all. But you guys believe he was murdered. So absolutely. I could disagree with that. That's my prerogative. Whether I'm right or wrong, I know I'm right. You guys are wrong. But I'm just saying. Who cares though? These fucking clowns. You know what's funny? Dave, you could do a show at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. and the same fucking
ones are on. Yep.
Because they have no life. None of those guys.
We love these guys that have no life, Greg.
What I want to, how do they find? How do they do that? Do they just keep us on 24/7?
I'll explain it to you.
There's 3 or 4 profiles in here. It's the same guy.
Listen, you guys know there are a lot of people that are addicted to their phone. So the phone is always with them. So if they get a notification that we're live, they just tune in. They're like, "Oh, great, we got more content to watch." I'm like that with certain channels and podcasts that I like. If something pops up and I'm like, "Oh, I love that I'm going to listen and see what this latest episode's about." I'll tune in. So it seems like they're on all day, but they're not home on their computer. They're on their phone more than likely, sitting somewhere.
Yeah, but what? So in other words, they're
probably
not
online at the unemployment
Are they
office.
making money? Right,
They're getting their checks, for the week.
That's the thing.
That's a good one.
But it's the same guy. He'll talk with himself in here.
Right. You know what? There's a lot of guys that fit that category, and women too, that don't do very much all day, and the phone is their entertainment.
But not all of them are
scumbags. You get
some of them are just
no. I have a lot of guys that they're security guards. They work at Walmart. They do security there, and they're bored out of their minds all day, or they do overnight security, and they're listening to our shows all day long.
Bullshit. This is a guy sitting fucking jerking off to this shit. He's a pussy. He's a fucking
of course he's gonna jerk off to you.
You know what?
I have
every one of us are as
a
ourselves.
friend, right?
When you talk
he lives in Australia, and he works on a farm harvesting vegetables and shit. Giant farm. He drives these huge tractors with the big front double front tires. A dude online, and and because it's so hot there, they work all night long. So he goes to work at like 7, 8 o'clock at night. He works all night until like 7, 8 in the morning, driving his tractor, picking potatoes or whatever. And he's got full blown internet in there, Wi-Fi. He's got air conditioning. He's got TV, computer. He's just riding up and down this enormous thousands and thousands of acres of potatoes, and playing. He watches us, listens to us, hangs out on. I mean, you got a job like that where you can multitask. It's the internet.
I really seriously doubt these little girls in the fucking thing over here.
Hold on. Here's a good.
I seriously doubt they're in there fucking working and doing.
Here's a good comparison. What do you guys think? What'd you like better back in the day? Ultimate Orange, which Dan Duchesne kind of developed, versus the Twin Labs Rip Fuel, which
Ultimate Orange.
Twin Lab Rip Fuel. 100%.
Ultimate Orange.
Why? Give me the whys.
Because Ultimate Orange not only had caffeine, it had a bunch of other shit in there that wasn't in.
What did he put in there? You knew because you helped him develop it, probably.
No, I didn't help him develop it. I was there before I was going. I don't know. I honestly, Dave, that was 40 years ago. I can't.
You don't remember what Dan put in there?
I do not remember what he put in there. I remember one of the first batches he mixed up was literally in a big tub, and he had all kinds of shit in there because he was always researching stuff. Rip Fuel was just ephedra. It's all it was. It was nothing else.
No,
Ultimate Orange.
I just pulled it up.
Rip Fuel was guarana, Malwong, and ephedra.
Right? Well, ephedra and caffeine it was.
Hey, forgetting about one other. What about John would know this one?
Oh, it had ephedra in it.
The VPX Redline. That Redline shit also.
Yep.
Yeah.
Redline.
How about Patrick Arnold clear shots? You remember those clear shots?
Oh my god.
The thing with Jack and those shots that was so genius is that the label said 2 servings. So you were supposed to, there was a little clear split on the side of the label, and you were supposed to gauge half, right? What bodybuilder in their right fucking mind is going to take half? And he knew that, right? So that shot became the most powerful energy shot because it was a double dose.
Exactly. Wow. I love that shit though, bro. Patrick Arnold gave me some of that shit and I fucking flew. Woof.
Well, John was talking about the red line.
Oh, the red line was my favorite.
Shots, the little shots.
But Patrick Arnold gave me some shit, and I remember that shit.
Clear shot. Yeah, Patrick Arnold. Chris Aceto drank some of that. We were walking around the expo. Chris said he thought he's like, I didn't even know what to do with myself. He said I was so.
He combed his hair.
I never saw Chris was in the greatest mood of all time for that whole day.
You guys should drink that when you do one of those shows, so I don't fall asleep.
You're right, except we got to go to sleep afterwards, unfortunately.
Well, a lot of those stimulants, when they wear off, you feel like crazy and mean. I don't like stimulants at all.
Well, you're low on, because what happens is you go high on the neurotransmitters and then you drop low.
Wait.
Your adrenal glands are shot.
Yeah, even large amounts of caffeine.
Listen, as a stimulant lover, the only bad thing about the old days with the ephedrine is you get the swimming pool dick. You know what I mean? When you get it, you know how really God would go whoop, like this.
Let me ask you a question. How come guys get like when you take those stimulants like that, you lose your sex drive and you become impotent, but yet people who say they do crystal meth say it's the greatest sex drug of all time?
I have no idea.
Doesn't it affect? I think the ephedra affects the smooth muscle in your
Something in the crystal meth supposedly makes you. It's like a porn drug. That's what these. Because I was in jail with these guys that were crystal meth addicts. They're like, oh, it's
versus
like,
I tried a couple.
Isn't it like Coke too? Coke is like that too. Like it messes with your
Coke dries up your dick like it's in a fucking deep freeze.
But you know what's funny? I never did any of that kind of shit. But I can tell you this: the ephedrine, I love it. But you get that swimming pool, and then when you go to pee, you got to pee real bad, and it comes out in little drops because I think
your prostate gets all contracted.
No, it's smooth muscle, David, or urethra. That's what it.
And that's what kills your fucking sex drive. I think it's.
You mean the Dimetadrine 25, the mini thin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the little white crosses. Dimetadrine. They used to sell that shit for $2 and shit.
They sold it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Gas stations, even.
Yup, gas stations where the truck drivers used to take.
What an ad that was. crediting Lee Priest's size.
Yeah. He looks like a truck driver there. Looks like a guy driving a truck, you know.
Dude, the best thing, Dave. I remember
great
guys,
marketer,
dude, Dave, remember the GHB? They used to guys were getting GHB at fucking GHB. That little GHB bottle with the fucking Coke spoon in there.
Yeah, the Coke spoon.
And then you get class, and then you get smart. Now you get muscle,
powder.
smart too.
You remember all these? You remember all these before and ads? So I know Dave, you did a lot of them. I did a lot of them too for Dymatize and Muscle Tech. Your before picture, they would literally tell you like, "Hey, do a side chest, stick your stomach out all the way. Don't flex your arm." And then the next picture is like right when you get off stage, or at the show, doing that before.
I never did before and afters because I never looked fat, so I couldn't do.
Yeah, they'd have to Photoshop fat on you, bro.
Do you remember that EAS ad that was like the evolution of man? They started the guy off fat, and he got leaner and leaner and leaner and leaner. That was actually reversed. He showed up the first shots when he was in great shape, and then he got fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. And they switched it.
Makes sense.
Right.
All that stuff sold. Everybody believed it back then. I mean, everybody believed it.
Cybergenics transformations were
Dude, I had a friend that took the Unipro amino acids, and the fucking next day he told me, "Bro, I don't notice any difference." I'm like, "What do you think? It works like that?" You know, because he was like, still, but he actually believed if you take these supplements, you're gonna like overnight, like get jacked.
I told you about that kid in Mexico that gave me that, wanted to know if the protein powder was real. I gave a seminar to Jim about fake steroids, and after it was over, he brings up a huge jug of ISS protein. Remember when Cutler first became Mr. Olympia, he was with ISS. His lab picture was on the label.
Oh yeah, ISS, right.
The kid, he's probably 15, 16, covered in zits, chubby, trying to work out. And he's got his lifting belt on. And he hands me the jug and he asks me in Spanish, if this is legit, if it's real. And I'm like, this was years before the Mexicans started, fabricating, counterfeiting supplements. So this was like a real, I don't know how he got it. Someone had to get that in. So I looked at it, I opened it, I looked inside. It looked real to me, so I didn't taste it or anything. So I go, looks fine. Why do you think it's fake? And he said, well, I took a shake last night, and then another one this morning when I woke up, and I still don't look like the guy on the label. Totally,
a lot of that.
Dead serious.
He didn't even finish the bottle.
That's like with my friend with the amino acids. Same kind of fucking thing, bro. I don't feel nothing. I took it last night before bed. I don't feel nothing.
You remember the Cybergenics kit they used to sell? Oh yeah,
that's what I was saying. Yeah,
Franco Santoriello. I know.
I interviewed Franco a few years ago. It was about that ad because he became famous just from the ad, if you remember.
Right.
He won the nationals. He had a drug problem, which he talked about on the show. But he said I said, you must have made a fortune from that ad. He goes, Dave. He goes, I didn't get paid anything. I actually went to the guy's house and knocked on the guy's door, and I told him, I'm going to beat the shit out of you if I don't get some money for this fucking ad. And that's how
really?
Yeah. Oh my God. They didn't pay him anything for that. He wasn't getting paid nothing.
That's how it was. Bodybuilders usually didn't get paid.
Those products,
bodybuilders would work,
and that was it.
Just to get
he sold that thing. He's like, the ad was something like, I remember the ad would run on ESPN. They would be like, he's like, if you want to look like me, you got to take Cybergenics. He goes, I went from this, and he'd show him like a little kid, to this, and I'm a champion now. And he hit a like double bicep pose.
His saying was, I know because I did it.
Yes, something like that. Right, you're right.
I know because I did it.
Yes,
it works.
And it was very effective because he had that physique everyone wanted at that time.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was all over the gyms. You know how many people took Cybergenics?
That made Cybergenics.
My God.
Made Cybergenics.
They got huge after that. They started doing mainstream TV.
I never took that shit, but a lot of kids in the gym, I remember back in the...
That and Dimetadrine was the other one.
Dimetadrine was good shit, though. That was ephedrine.
Yeah.
That was just the same shit.
All the good supplements they outlaw. All
Yep.
of them. As soon as it works and does something, they outlaw it.
That was Franco right there.
Yeah.
He's like a minister or something now, isn't he?
Yeah, he was like a born again, guy. He went through some tough times with drugs. He told me, from the interview I did with him, and he overcame a lot of demons.
Good for him, though. I'm glad he got better.
Yeah, good for him.
He was full drug addict by age 30. He was doing crack, cocaine, pain pills, heroin, crystal meth.
Left no stone unturned.
He actually did a 3-year sentence too in jail. Which saved his life.
Running from something.
I love those redemption stories. That's awesome.
Yeah. Those are nice.
He's a good guy.
Dr. Jordan Peterson is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
He has a good interview with Tim Tebow. You just did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, about masculinity and being competitive and wanting to win and stuff, and how you keep it balanced. You guys should watch it. It's really, really good.
Did y'all see the Shannon Sharp allegations and all that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
You believe that?
No, not for
Why?
1
What's
second.
the allegations?
Yeah,
did you guys read the text that the girl was sending to him?
No.
I didn't see the text.
Wait, you got to
like-
set up the whole story because Greg and I don't know any of this shit.
50 million.
Me too.
Shannon Sharp. I like his show.
Wait. Greg, you know who Shannon Sharp is, right?
Yes, I talked to him. I met him. I have pictures of me and him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay. Yeah.
He had lasagna with Lee Haney.
Yeah, I mean,
he
he
is.
was here in Arlington not too long ago. He shot a video with Ronnie Coleman, and he had Ronnie Coleman on his show.
I
So
actually
he has-
did last year at the Olympia. I think it was. I did a wrap up with him.
Yes.
Believe it or not. That's how nice he is. He's a total fan of bodybuilding. He knew who he was.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
he
Chris,
loves
he loves
bodybuilding.
So, yeah, as soon as the guy gets too popular, they got to like knock him down a few rungs. They got to either hit him with like a trafficking charge or rape allegations.
So what's the allegation
What's
against
the
him?
story, Armand? Tell us.
What is it?
I mean, some girl came out and they hired the same, I think, attorney as like all the people that going after Diddy for money. And this girl saying that he raped him and all this stuff. This girl that was living with him for 2 years, I guess they were together for 2 years. So basically, what it sounds like he broke up with her, and she's just wanting revenge. But all the text, he saved, and the texts are like, "I want you to put me in a dog leash and choke me," and yeah, daddy, and it's 25,000 per cheek. I think she was asking him to pay for like
it's
BBL.
Tony Busby lawyer, John, the one who's with the Diddy thing. And she supposedly Sharp repeatedly threatened to choke and slap this Jane Doe, girl, whatever her name is. They met at the gym in Los Angeles in 23 when she was 20, and nearly the 2-year relationship followed. Sharp, 56, he's the same age as me, is accused of raping the women in October of 24 and again in January. I don't believe it for a second.
So what doesn't
No,
make sense
not 1
is
second. They were together. After the breakup, she's trying to say like, he raped her. I think like something like that. I'm so tired of all these girls and these stories. The real one, because the real victims, it sucks for them because you got all these crazy ass girls out there coming out with all these false allegations about all these guys nonstop. I mean, all they have to do is go get one of these attorneys and
It's a money grab. It's a money grab.
Yeah, huge money grab.
What doesn't make sense is that supposedly he raped her and then she came back. If somebody, what was the term that they used? It was the way he was supposedly hit her was like hard or something like that, and the fact that she came back twice after that, it kind of makes her not credible.
Wait a minute. The best
You
one.
also got a lot. You also got a lot of these women that will ask you to like hit them and do like really weird shit to them. Like I've dated girls in the past, and they asked me to do some really off the wall stuff, and I'm like, this one girl was into cutting. Like her and her ex used to cut each other with a knife and like suck on each other's blood and stuff.
Oh my God.
And she asked me to do that. And I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and then she'll take a picture of it.
Devil on mine.
Yeah.
Devil.
And a few days later, I'm getting arrested for, ag assault, deadly weapon, or something like that.
Right.
Then this other girl was wanting me to like spit on the ground and make her lick it up and then slap her and all this stuff. I was like, get out of my apartment. I'm not getting off my apartment. Like, whoa.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on. The best one with the athlete.
Greg's getting turned on by all this.
Wait,
talk.
hold on. Listen to me. Mark Sanchez.
I'm not into that stuff. That's all.
Mark Sanchez brought on a fucking chick, right? He brought her home. And he fucked around. Now, Mark Sanchez was the quarterback of the fucking Jets. Now, you Jet fans will remember this one. He fucking took this chick. She was 18 years old, a senior in high school. Ooh. And he fell asleep at this house. And she was walking around his house with the camera going, there's Mark. He's sleeping in the bed. This is his living room. This is his kitchen. Look, and there he is sleeping. We just had sex. And the only thing that saved his ass, because she was a high school senior, was the fact that she was already 18 years old. And I remember the Jets coaches were like, are you fucking stupid? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be doing this shit, because that would have fucking destroyed him. She actually was videotaping him sleeping in the bed that she just slept in, going in his bathroom, showing it, opening his closet. So there's his closet with his clothes. Imagine how fucked up that is. That's why when you bring somebody home, man, these celebrities got to be. I had 2 chicks come up to me. Now, I'm an ugly motherfucker. Okay, so 2 chicks came up to me at the Arnold Classic, and they were fucking hitting on me. And I said, there's John Romano, because I knew that they were, right? This is a true story. And I introduced him to John. John, do you remember? I think John brought him up to the room and maybe Bafangul them. But I have a picture of those 2 chicks with me. And I said to them, they were like, look, I'm ugly. You just want to get in the magazine, or you think like I'll hook you up with Blackman or something. So I said, there's John Romano. He's the fucking.
No women. Oh, we get any tie.
No, but John, do you remember that? John, do you remember that?
Yeah, no comment.
Embarrassing.
He's turning red. He's turning red.
Were they good looking? Greg, were they good looking?
They were like fitness girls. They were,
I haven't thought about that in a long time.
It's not the same. You can't bring girls to your house. If you do, you literally have to have cameras inside your house.
Yeah, but
you have to be very careful with women.
Listen,
or you could just be broke, and then
Yeah, but Armand,
you don't have to worry about it.
You're a tall, like, good-looking guy. I'm an ugly motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I at least
get it. We get it. You're ugly, Greg. We get it.
What I'm saying is, when a chick starts hitting on me, I'm like, okay. First of all, I'm broke. You're not getting any scuttle. Okay. Second of all, I do have a pretty big dick though. But the thing is that I know that these chicks wanted to fucking like hook up, with the magazines and stuff. And I was like, well, John right there is the fucking editor. He's the boss. And they were like, oh. I was like, I get
maybe they wanted an enema.
On Monday now, huh?
Greg, it would have been different, Greg, if they actually liked you for who you are. Then you would have said, oh.
Dude, then
or me too, for that matter.
That's right.
Greg was testing the waters. If they would have said, no, we want to stay with you, Greg, then
I'm the one who got violated.
Yeah.
I have a couple good close friends now. They're about 30, 35, and they're they're on the dating apps. They meet girls all the time, and they just literally want to hang out with the girl, watch a movie, eat some pizza, and it's like every time a girl comes over, it's like it's a new thing. They will go to the bathroom. My friends, both of them say that they'll go to the bathroom. They'll come out wearing some little outfit, and they're like, "Do you want me?" And they're like, "Man, I just want to hang out and watch pizza, eat pizza." And so It's like it's just the. And then I was watching.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why do they just want to eat pizza with these girls? Like, what's like?
I mean, they want to like actually get to know a girl. Like they really want to like eventually date.
Why? Tomorrow.
I mean, they're past that point of just like hooking up with girls. They want to meet someone eventually.
That's called being a pay pig.
He thought she was wife material.
Yeah, but they're fishing in the wrong stream is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't do those dating websites. You can't do those swipe sites if you're trying to meet someone decent.
It's the whole thing.
It happened organically.
I feel bad for people who actually, young people who have to actually date nowadays because
yeah, because if you don't have an internet connection, you can't communicate.
No, but because you don't even know who you're talking to, if they're real. You don't know.
No, they're on their cell phone all fucking day.
Every girl's got an OnlyFans page now. They think they're gonna be like Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian, and so I don't know. I would
1 in 10, Dave. What? 1 in 10 women in the ages of 18 to 26 in America have an OnlyFans. 1 in 10.
That's terrible. I know.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, all they care about is money. Like they're all about getting taken care of, and they have nothing to offer. They have no education.
They don't want to work. No, Arma, they don't want to work a real job.
No,
they don't want to work a real job.
It's funny you say that, Dave. Do you know they had on Fox News the other day was talking about that even Wall Street's having trouble getting new people in because everybody wants to be a content creator today,
right.
Whether it's OnlyFans or Instagram famous or fucking YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, all these fucking things. These people, they're saying that Wall Street's actually having problems trying to get people to, new blood into Wall Street because of this exact problem. Nobody wants to, they all want to become like, Insta famous and shit.
Greg, I see some of the most hideous looking people who have the worst shapes of all time with the camera on themselves. And I'm like,
all day, all night. Dave, wait, listen, my daughter has a friend.
Everyone thinks they got to make $1 million from.
Listen, my daughter has a friend who makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you know what she's fat? She's black. She's like fucking 400 pounds, right? You know what she does? She does that mukbang shit. She sits and eats fucking giant piles of like fucking ramen. And she eats like a fucking gavone. You know what I mean?
That gal versus food.
Oh, is that like a fetish, Greg? Is that like a fetish?
What? Do you think people get into watching people eat? It's the sickest fucking thing.
I didn't know that. What is that? What is that called?
It's called mukbang.
Yeah, mukbang. Gal versus food is the pretty brunette that does it.
This world is.
I don't know if she swallows it though. I think they cut it out. They eat the food, but I think right before they swallow it, I think they cut it because I never see them actually swallow the food.
Hey, did you ever see that one avocado?
No wonder why this country's falling apart.
Did you ever see that guy Nikado avocado? He went from 135 pounds to almost 500 pounds. He was in a wheelchair with oxygen, and he wound up losing it all eventually. Google Nikado avocado.
Oh yeah, Nikado avocado. He pulled the biggest stunt on everyone. He got up to like over 300 pounds. Dude, he was so big. He was in one of those fat cars, the fat golf cart things that you get.
And he had
and then he lost all the weight. He lost all the weight again and became skinny. He started off eating avocados. Nikado avocado.
His trick was eat a lot of avocados, get really fat, stop eating.
No, he doesn't eat avocados.
No, he doesn't eat. No. It's fucking unreal. This guy eats the whole menu.
So avocados are not involved.
No avocados. I don't know why he used that. But they literally go to like McDonald's and eat everything on the menu.
And then they put the fucking
this guy.
Before you know what this guy was doing before internet came about.
What was he doing?
Jerking off to porn magazines.
Yeah,
no, he's gay.
Exactly.
He looks like a guy with Down syndrome who's really
right.
That's nothing. He got twice that size.
He got twice this big. He started off a normal size. He got twice that big, and now he's back to normal size.
Social media has given the miscreants of society a forum to actually make money from all
sociopaths.
Yeah. They're sick. They're sick. They're all mentally ill.
My daughter's friend does that.
People watch this. You know what? But people watch this stuff. It's unbelievable.
Dude, my daughter's friend's so ugly too. She looks like fucking giant buckwheat. She's
beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Greg.
Yeah, Greg's real judgmental.
No,
on
but it's a
himself.
shock. It's shock value.
No, she's
George. It's
disgusting.
shock value.
She's
People watch
disgustingly ugly.
That's
and
why
she's fat.
bodybuilders are very popular on Instagram too, because the shock value for the average person to see someone that muscular and people watch it. You know,
It's
a lot of
almost
people.
like someone who's more
How do
than
you think like a Bumstead has that many, 26, whatever he's got million followers? Yeah, he's popular, but it's the insanity of how incredible he looks too. It's like
half of them are gay men.
It's not something that you see every day.
I agree,
So
George.
People are enamored with it,
What's that got to do with anything?
What?
The popularity.
George says half of them are gay men. I'm like, so
More
Who
than
cares? Doesn't matter what. Yeah,
their money's green as everybody else.
But funny,
You're not
George, gay men, but also straight men. Because how many straight men follow C-Bum? Come on, he is everybody.
Ted Dixon told me that 50% of the readership of Flex magazine was gay.
Probably.
And they support that. It's like that Playboy.
Weeder had full-blown
There's gay guys that like feminine men, and there's gay guys that like rough-looking guys.
I dated a girl who was the editor for Playgirl magazine, and she told me like 75% of their readership was gay.
Of course, I would say
This
more
was a
than
long
that.
time
I
ago.
would say more. I would say more than that.
Yeah,
Joe
95%
Weider actually
probably.
had gay porn magazines that he was selling at the same time he was selling Your Physique.
Get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Yup.
Yeah.
The original
You guys remember Men's Workout? That was a completely gay magazine. Men's Workout.
Yeah.
The original bodybuilding magazines were.
Armand, are you in a magazine with your clothes on though? Are you in a what's it called, a calendar? Do you have a calendar?
I've done some calendars. Yeah.
You've done some calendars too. Yeah.
There was a lot of bodybuilders that did get Playgirl back in the day. I remember,
Arnold did it.
Yeah. Did he?
I think
They used to
was kind of a place where
Didn't Frank Zeppi do a layout? I think in there.
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure Arnold did.
There was a video of
Arnold did Blue Boy.
I think
there
Arnold
was a
did
video of
Playgirl.
Arnold back in the day doing some gay stuff, and he paid a lot of money to get it. And
they all did it. They all did it. Like I know the guys on the national level, and Dave used to prep tons of them, and they all did it.
Armand,
with Playgirl, the guy used to come in. I forgot he was editor or something in Playgirl, and used to ask him to do Playgirl all the time, and they paid $500. I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm going to do that magazine for $500.
The only good thing about the magazine, I went to done it, but guys did it because the pictures were high quality pictures, and it was it was more of it wasn't like a sleazy magazine. It was more of an acceptable magazine. Because I think Playboy and Playgirl were
here you go.
April 1986.
April 1986.
Who was in there?
Arnold.
Playgirl
I want to
1986.
see you right here.
Wow.
Playgirl.
Schwarzenegger.
Was he actually naked in there, John? Or did he do an interview
All
for it?
new pictorial.
I don't know, but I think there was pictures.
Dave, but a lot of guys did it back then because there was no way to make money. So the gays were the ones who were. But today, because of this fucking internet shit, and they're making money on social media and stuff, they don't really need to do that as much. But back in the day, guys made a lot of money for the gays posing and all that stuff.
Private posing was an industry.
Dude,
remember?
They all did that.
Titus told me that in Venice, Titus told me when he was in Venice, he said that there was a very wealthy men that had scouts that worked for them, and the scouts approached Craig, and they propositioned him for meeting this wealthier man privately for whatever, dinner, pictures, whatever. And so that was pretty popular back then in the late 90s.
Yeah, but see, they don't need to do that now because of the internet is much bigger. You know what I'm saying?
It's all free now.
This is Arnold in Playgirl.
You can make a lot.
See?
That's Conan.
Yeah, but
that's nothing. I see.
That's what they put in Playgirl.
There was a picture of Arnold fucking naked.
There's a
I know
picture.
Stories, but I'm not going to say it here because that fucking guy will sue you.
There's a picture of Arnold naked in an old magazine called Blue Boy, I think it was.
Blue Boy.
I saw it. I saw it on online.
Did he blow a boy?
Greg, do you remember a dude named Lacey Rich?
I remember that name absolutely.
Lacey Rich lived downstairs from Mike Menser and I.
Yep.
He was the manager of this apartment building, and he gave us cheap rent. And every time I go to take the trash out, he'd be like peeking at me around the corner, and I'd throw trash down the hallway at him. Like that,
He
on
had
top of the stairs.
he had
I'd throw
pictures.
trash at him. I'd be like, "Get out of here!"
He had pictures of
He had-
Arnold.
He had
Yes.
bodybuilders.
I know what you're
pro
going to say, John.
bodybuilders going in and out of this place, and like famous pro bodybuilders.
He
Well,
had
that I
he
can
had
name
dirt
names,
on everybody.
but
He would
Yes, I know
fax-
what John's going to say.
he,
Yep.
he would fact. There was a picture of Arnold, butt naked, standing around outside the pool where Joe Weider was in his shirt with his sleeves rolled up, typing, and Arnold was
I seen
butt
that
naked.
fucking.
And this Lacey Rich had that picture and a few others of Arnold in supposedly compromising situations, and he would fax them. Like back in the day, that was all there was fax. He would fax them like everybody in the industry, to try to get. And he mysteriously died.
Did he really?
If people
Like an insulin overdose.
I remember
There
that.
was
Very
a
interesting.
couple Mr. Olympias coming in and out of his apartment.
I think Arnold had a little
yeah.
mustache when he was doing that naked shit too. I remember seeing a picture of him with the little piece of thing down there.
You know who did speaking of play.
That's the one I saw.
You know who did a great photo shoot? Remember Ray Hollett did a great photo shoot for Playboy. You remember that, John?
Yep. When she
She's
was
gonna pull that
American Gladiator.
Yeah, I thought that was very tasteful. She was naked in this. This was just this. I can't show the naked pictures, obviously, but I mean, she looked great. I mean, I thought she looked
really
beautiful.
Yeah.
The pictures were insane. If you go look at them, they're on the internet.
Dude, what about my boy fucking doing a muscle elegance?
She was in a movie, wasn't she, with the guy from
with John Ritter? With John Ritter,
Yeah.
remember?
What about
Yeah.
Rob Messina with muscle elegance? He always had all those girls.
Right, but yeah, that was more that was hard. That was more hardcore.
That was hardcore fucking dildo porn.
Yeah.
They
They made a lot of money though. They made a lot of money.
They made a lot of
did.
money.
Oh yeah, man.
Yep.
The internet killed them though. I talked to Rob about it. We should get Rob on the show. I'm gonna get him to come on the show one
He's
day.
an interesting dude, isn't he? He's a marine biologist.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
dude. He has a
he's a great
seashell.
guy.
He has shells
seashell
named after
collection
him.
that nobody else has.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
We're gonna get him on the show because he's got some great stories to tell. But you know what? And he's got Charlie Arm stories to tell because Charlie used to go to his gym. So
Oh yeah, dude. I grew up
We gotta get
watching.
Charlie on the show, Dave.
I think he's a little. I don't think he's a little too old at this point to get on the show.
What are you talking about? He's too
Luis
old.
Friedez.
He's not too old. Talking about.
I got to wrap up. I'm gonna pick myself up. Thank you for joining us live today, as always, and I love you guys. We'll be back again next week for another installment of After Hours with the Whack Pack. See you next time.
Never give up.
Later, guys.
Love you guys.